Grateful Dead had a wonderful album called Why.
Go ahead, guys. Get a little bit closer.
I can throw in some Grateful Dead here if you want.
All right,
Well,
Mike's here.
there-
Marion. Lisa, you can have a seat right here. Hello, how are you? Things are living out. You coming to the lecture, Karen?
The thing about the Grateful Dead is they're extraordinary music.
They are, I know. 100%. 100%.
You know, they have a song called St. Stephen. They have another song called The 11. And they will go from St. Stephen, which is in 4/4 time, to the 11, which is in 11/2.
Right. 11-2.
11/2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the transition is led by the bass player,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
But you have to listen very carefully to hear him segue from 4/4 into 11/2.
Listen to that.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, I think we did.
You know the song you saw?
No, yeah. I think it's at the piano.
What's it called again?
What's the name of it? I played it once. Is it the one, the piano one you're talking about?
What's it called again?
The song is the 11, but there's a
bunch of
lot of times they will play
St. Stephen's?
St. Stephen and then segue into the 11. And they do it on,
Was it out again? Because I didn't put my belt on. That's the problem. I got to go home and get a belt. I was rushing and.
which is a lovely album, which is all live music.
Better? Better? Okay, good.
I don't think I know this one.
That's not the one I was thinking of.
Transfer the transition. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
But the thing is that everybody thinks Grateful Dead. Crazy, hippie,
Right.
and then you listen to their music and it's
They know what they're doing. They know, kind of like Rush, you know, like Rush or like who else? Like
Or
Queen, like they knew their music theory. Like they knew
Queen also,
modes
yeah,
and
for sure.
different time signatures. Yeah, so it's
Okay, great. I'm just going to turn that fan just a little bit lighter. Just a little bit. A little.
Queen does so many lovely vocal
Oh yeah,
games. They play vocal games.
yeah they do. My kids still they love it. Dude, we just did some Queen. We've done a lot of choral arrangements of Queen songs. They love it. They love it.
There's a door.
She's right there, Mary Lou. She's right there.
And of course, ABBA.
Oh sure. Yeah.
Okay, just wait. Good.
I love the ABBA movie.
Yeah.
The one that they do such fine things with the blocking of
Yeah.
the song.
The movie, yeah, new musical, yeah. It's been really really popular.
All right, are we ready, y'all? Yes. Okay, we're gonna get started. Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to see just a couple of things that are coming up this week and next week. So obviously we have 3 music events this week. This is the second. We just heard the Great Ball Live. I'll introduce my guests in a minute. But this Saturday at 2:30, we're gonna have a concert pianist called Marjin Zhang. She's also a composer, particularly in a lot of the modern contemporary piano music. So she does some arrangements. She's a Chinese-American pianist. She will be at the Linden Hall side, and I don't know if she's going to do the Schubert and the Mozart stuff, but she's certainly going to I've asked her to do some of her compositions, because it's different than the lady we had, the other lady who did more particularly, the Debussy and the Ravel and the Rachmaninoff's, piano stuff. So this one's going to be a little bit different. It should be good at Linden Hall, and that should be this Saturday at 2:30. Then the big concert, which is next Friday, the following Friday, on May 30th, which is the big Friends Home Choir concert. And this program is going to be a concert of psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. It is a spiritual program rather than songs from the hymns and spiritual songs that are of the faith, right? So that is the program. And then in September, we will do a Broadway concert. We will put on our Broadway shoes and do some Roger and Hammerstein, some Sondheim, some other shows. And so it's going to be really a great time. So next Friday, May 30th at 3 p.m. in this room, the choir, and how many, you're all in the choir, you, and Joanne, yes. So a lot of you are in the choir. So there's 15 residents, and we usually pack this room. So next Friday is the concert, okay? But today it is an honor to welcome back to Friends Home my friend and the Unionville High School choir director, Jason Throne. He's the founder and the artistic director of Brandywine Valley Chorale and the music department chair and choir director at Unionville High School. I'm just going to read his bio before he gives his music lecture, and then, time permitting, I do need to get to a school tonight for a recital, but we'll take some questions for sure if time allows. Jason Throne received his Bachelor of Music in Music Education at Temple University. While teaching in Baltimore, he studied conducting under the direction of Edward Polachek, the director of the Baltimore Symphony Chorus, and performed with the Baltimore Symphony and Chamber Chorus. After receiving his master's in choral conducting at Temple University, Mr. Throne was an apprentice and program editor with the Berkshire Choral International in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, where he lectured on the choir music of Brahms and Bach, as well as music technology. Mr. Throne has worked with renowned conductors, including Robert Page, Joseph Flimmerfelt, Vance George, Marvin Hamlish, John Rutter, and David Zinman. As assistant conductor of the Bucks County Choral Society, he performed and conducted the group during their tour of Estonia and Russia. Mr. Throne is the choral director at Unionville High School, where he leads 5 different award-winning choirs. He made his Carnegie Hall debut in June 2010 with the Unionville High School Chorale, performing in the New York City premiere of a work by Grammy Award-winning artist and conductor Eric Whitacre. That's a well-known name in today's choir world. A champion of new music, Mr. Throne strongly believes in supporting modern composers. Most recently, mastermind concert showcases and workshops with Norway's Ola Yelo and popular English virtuoso Will Todd. That was the concert you guys went to last. Remember the Will Todd Passion Music that we did at the Unionville High School? Well, I was in that, and you all saw Will Todd. So that was the guy on the piano. And we did his Passion Music. He also commissioned many local composers, including Thomas Lloyd, David Bennett Thomas, and John Cunahan. Most notably, for BBC's 10th anniversary, he enterprised a new composition from the acclaimed Scandinavian maestro Kim André Arneson. So, knowing Jason Throne, I got an email from one of my choir professors at Westchester when I was going for my master's, Dr. Ryan Kelly, and they were looking for a tenor section leader in Brandywine Valley Chorale. And knowing about the group and knowing Jason's reputation in the Westchester area, I couldn't have been more thrilled to be a part of that choir, and I've been there ever since. I think it's been 8 years now. And not on his bio is that Jason Throne is going to actually be leaving the state of Pennsylvania because I think his wife got a provost job, and he got I assume it's a choir director position or something. You have to talk about that. But
sure.
In the state of Maine, a director of choral at a private school. And I will certainly be missing Jason, and I've admired him for a long time, particularly with combining both the high school singers and the community singers. We had Chester County Choral Arts Society join us in Mozart's Requiem a couple weeks ago. And it really is a joy to have him. He will definitely be missed. We'll probably have you again on Zoom some point. It's really an honor to have him, and I wanted to make sure he gave a lecture before he left for Maine, because he's really a well-known really conductor and music educator in this area. So it is an honor to have Mr. Jason Throne. So thank you. Give him a hand. Give him a friend-song welcome. There we go.
Great to be back with you, and Brenton reading my bio reminds me I have to update mine because he had just mentioned that I'm moving to Maine in about 3 weeks, which is, I've been at Unionville for 22 years, and Brandywine Valley I started that 18 years ago. So time has gone by, and working with great people like Brenton, who you are so lucky to have here. I'm sure you guys know, but he's just one of the incredible musician and just nicest people you could ever meet. So you guys are really lucky to have him here. But Brendan kept mentioning that this is going to be like a choir lecture, but I thought I would kind of mold this more as like a conversation, where involve you guys as well in kind of what we're doing, instead of just me talking at you for 45 minutes or so. But kind of thought I'd go into some kind of classics, but not only like choral classics, but like songs that are well known to you, and kind of talk about the importance of what choir and what it means to us that have been in it. So I guess my first question to you is, have any of you ever been in a choir before? Raise your hand if you've been in a choir.
Or currently.
In a choir, right?
A lot of them are
we
in
should
the
all have
choir.
that.
A lot of them are in the choir.
Choir here, right? Yes. So we need to. I just wanted to kind of get a sense of, because one of the things that I love most about choir is the camaraderie, is the sense of doing things as a group and doing it together, and it's a really powerful thing, and it's something that stays with you. For those of you who have sung in choirs before, how amazing performance is, and how when we get a group of, whether you're in a group of 7 or 8 people, or you're in a group of 180 people like we just had for the Mozart Requiem, it's a really special experience. And as I said, especially in the performance aspect of it, because there are times when I've been in performance in choir where you kind of feel like you're not, you're not standing anymore. Like you're kind of like taken into a different world or in a different reality. And there's something really powerful in that. There have been a lot of studies of people that have been in choir when they're singing together, that their heartbeats kind of mold into a steady beat together. And just a lot of that kind of really powerful thing where, there's really they've done scientific studies on it, but it's, otherworldly when you kind of experience that. And unless you've actually performed or actually done those sort of things, it's almost hard to explain in words. You hear the expression, when words fail, music takes over, right? And that's really the case. But and I think a lot of our memories in life is associated with music, right? You hear a certain song, reminds you of a certain time in your life, or it reminds you of, you know, a place or people. And I find that to be very fascinating. And a lot of the examples, I also didn't necessarily hear this in a classical sense, as more in a personal sense, right? Songs that, you know, are probably pretty familiar to you, but might come to you in a choral form. Any song that I play and you know and you enjoy, feel free to sing along. Feel free to join in, right? Because I really want this to be a collaborative kind of a thing. And like I said, a lot of the examples that I picked for this are going to be things that are definitely familiar to you. So the first part here, I wanted to play a song, and this song came up a whole bunch of times. A song that I'm sure you've heard called "Let There Be Peace on Earth." And this song just kept coming in as I was researching things, and I was like, I said I have to add this to what we're doing. So I'm going to play for you a little example of it. This is a Tabernacle Choir, and just sit and enjoy. Probably sung this a million times.
Oh yeah, anytime.
We are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace become always with every step I take. Let this be my song of love, to take each moment and live each moment in peace
So I saw a lot of you singing along. Definitely something that a song that we're all very familiar with. And I think this song in particular, the reason it was coming up so often for me is a song like this. It really is something that everyone can grasp, right? It's not a song of a certain religion where some people can really associate with, some can't. It's just an eternal kind of a song that really applies to everybody here. which I thought was great. Kind of speaking of, singing and more religious songs, I think when we think about our experiences in choir, a lot of it has been in either churches or synagogues or in religious institutions where singing together is part of the culture, is part of the religion, an important part of what it is. And I know a lot of people I've talked to in the past when we talked about music being an important part of their upbringing. A lot of it had to do, it was centralized in religion, in singing in church and singing hymns. We always consider, especially in choir, it's the essence of bringing everyone together and doing everything, in one, or if it's in parts, that as well. I wanted to, how many of you have sung in church choirs before? Okay, yeah, a lot of you said, yeah.
A little one.
Okay, yeah, and again,
Primary school.
Yeah. And again, it's just something that these experiences, they're very personal to you, right? And they remind you of a very specific time in your life, whether it's a preschool thing or or it's singing, in college or with your own children as you had your families, going to church and singing hymns and being part of something in a congregation. And that's essentially what choirs are. It's a congregation of singers, that are, together for a purpose, And again, you can apply that to whatever you want, whatever religion you are part of, or whatever, choir you're singing in. So I wanted to play for you. I found this really great arrangement of How Great Thou Art, which I know a lot of you will know. And this is the BYU vocal point, and a little more contemporary, but really neat.
O Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made, I see the stars light, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe
really beautiful arrangement of that for choir.
Ooh, absolutely fabulous.
Yeah. I love it. It's an all-female choir, but they got some nice low notes and there's a nice tenor range there going on, which is awesome. Yeah. So
Who arranged that?
who arranged that? I'm not sure if it lists it. It's a BYU song.
Because the harmonies in there are exquisite
They
also.
are. It does.
And Brigham Young University's BYU. That's a very
BYU.
a very famous Mormon university, private university.
Yeah, I think it was just arranged by somebody that was in the group, honestly, or was associated with the group.
Yeah.
So there's a name here, but you wouldn't even know who it is. I think it's a.
But they do it in almost in a round.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So church music and singing hymns, very personal, very important part of choral singing. The next part, which the band kind of hit on a little bit, is the importance of patriotic and Americana music in choral singing. There are so many incredible works for choir that celebrate America and being patriotic. Like I said, as we just ended the last portion with the band, it's something that it's really important. We do. I wouldn't say a lot, but we definitely do a good amount of patriotic American songs that are in our choirs at the high school for students who tend to really enjoy that a lot. I found a really great arrangement of America the Beautiful with the Air Force Singing Sergeants. So I thought I'd play a little bit of that for you as a great example. Sorry about my. So let's take a little listen here.
Using the right weight matters. The
Okay.
body pod lets you
Commercials on
easily
YouTube,
understand
so-
what is the fastest way to
There you go. And these Air Force band, the Singing Sergeants, the Air Force are tremendous. I think all the branches have a choir. Does Space Force have a choir?
Yeah.
I think
Do they?
so, yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
I haven't seen or heard them yet. So I've heard the other branches.
Wasn't learn that one.
No, I mean there's an Army choir, the Air Force has singing sergeants, but does the Space Force have singing astronauts or something like singing space people? So I'm just curious if they do.
Space
Yeah, so I think again, a lot of this patriotic music kind of takes us back to certain times in our lives and personal experiences. Songs you heard as a child at a parade that have stuck with you, or songs that you sung in school or anywhere else. Again, it's just something that a lot of people take very personally, which I think is just part of the power of choirs and being part of them. Another important,
The U.S. Army Field Corps
yeah.
has some incredible
Oh, yeah.
arrangement.
Yeah. All the branches have these really incredible choirs that usually are associated with their bands, right? The bands get most of the publicity because they're playing a lot at the presidential things that are, events, and the singers tag along sometimes, but they don't get as much of the publicity as the bands do. But there's choir with the Army, Air Force, and Navy Marines. So, and they're all fantastic, really great musicians. So, the next part that kept coming up a lot, and as I was researching this, is Broadway. And a lot of us have a really great personal experience with Broadway music, and it could be, and the genres are just so vast, and that excites me. I really like that. We can, in my choirs we do a lot of more of the modern musical medleys. We just did a lot of. I don't know if you have ever seen The Greatest Showman, which is a movie musical with.
I saw the movie.
Yes.
I had the comic book of it too.
Oh, interesting.
And I was reading the comic book of it.
I did not know there was a comic book, but yeah, that's good to know. I had no idea. But I picked a couple different things to listen to parts of. The first one that kept coming up a lot is "You'll Never Walk Alone," which I'm sure many of you are very familiar with. So let me play just a little bit of that for you.
The cooling device that energy companies and AC manufacturers don't want you to know about is finally back in stock.
Finally.
Big brands.
There we go. So Robert's Hammerstein. Right, and a lot of the Broadway musicals, a lot of the Broadway tunes that we know and love, which I find fascinating that in the time of Rodgers and Hammerstein, that I can introduce some of these things to our current high school students, and they really in a different way, but they really take all of it in, and they really kind of apply it to their modern day life, which I always find fascinating. I think one of the things I enjoy most about doing my Brandywine Valley Chorale, which has basically all adults choir, and then also then the day job at the high school, is seeing how I could do similar songs with adults and with the students, and kind of witness their take on what we're doing. And I always find that to be very fascinating, especially when we kind of put them together, which is always really special performance opportunities for us. You know, we have mothers and fathers singing big works with their children that are in the high school, and it's always a really special kind of a experience for them to get to do those sort of things. But this is a really great example. There's one thing that I wanted to do, I skipped over real quick accidentally, but going back to the more patriotic and Americana, we all know the song Shenandoah, right? Shenandoah. And I found a British choir singing this. And I don't know why, but I found it to be it's the choir of King's College. It's one of the famous choirs in England. And I don't know why, but it kind of took to me that listening to an English choir singing one of the most famous, iconic American songs. I don't know why, but I found it fascinating. So I just want to play a little bit of that with you, for you today. This is the King's College Choir, where they have a voice sopranos. The arrangement is a famous choral American arrangement, James Erb. So it's really beautiful word painting in that arrangement for choir. It's just beautiful, one of my favorites. But
and it's so different from the spiritual.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the whole thing. Like, something like this, as I was going through and deciding like what to bring in, in the time frame that we had. I mean, there's just so many genres to cover that this could be like a 30-parter, kind of a thing. This is the amount of really important repertoire is so massive. But with that in mind, let's go on. So the other important part of the things that kind of come up a lot is kind of folk inspirational or folk inspired music. A lot of music that was really kind of a central point in music, especially like in the 60s and the 70s, right? That there's just so much incredible music that I think, especially for you, and where you were in the 60s and 70s was an important part of, kind of who you are today and things that you remember going back. A lot of music like Bridge Over Troubled Water. I asked students in my last concert, we kind of did music that was chosen mostly by the students, and I would find choral arrangements of certain songs. And one of the ones that they wanted to do was The Sound of Silence by Paul Simon. And I was like, really? I didn't even think that they knew who Paul Simon was. I'm like, so there's some good parenting going on around here. But I found that I just played a little bit of this really amazing. Actually, we had a arrangement written for us for the Unionville Choirs for the last concert of The Sound of Silence that we premiered. But this is a version, I'll play just a little bit of it, by another famous British group, Vaughters 8, who is a really famous vocal ensemble. So we'll play a little bit of this. So you kind of hear a choir take, a modern choir take on Sound of Silence. Hopefully no commercials. Right, so they really neat, like very modern dissonances and harmonies in there. It's just classic, really Paul Simon folk song. Another one, real quick, and I'm going to wrap up in a couple minutes, but there is a really incredible, very young musician. His name is Jacob Collier. He is. His musical mind is just not of this earth. Like, I don't even know how he is what he is. I don't even think he's human. But he did an arrangement of Bridge Over Troubled Water, which again is the folksy, that we all know Simon Garfunkel. And he did this a live version of it where he uses his voice and some synthesizers and just creates these incredible harmonies to what he's doing. This song also features John Legend, which you may know. and Tori Kelly, who's also a very, very well-known modern vocalist. But I thought I'd play just this is a 10 minutes old little thing, just kind of get a sense of what he kind of does with this. Very fascinating and interesting.
When times get tough.
Let's get a little forward. John Legend comes in. So you get another take on this classic folk song. Right? John that's John Legend singing. Of these incredibly modern technology and all that.
It's soul.
And then soul, right?
And gospel.
Exactly, right. So you know, one of the things I love about something like this is, again, just the fact that, you know, they're making it their own, right? A totally new take on something that we've heard a million times in the original form. And that they're really making it just incredibly interesting. And these things are really also affecting our younger generation as well, because it brings new interest to these you know, folk, you know, inspired songs from the 60s and 70s. So I think I'm coming to the end of time with this, but again, I just wanted to, like I said, I wanted to make this a little bit more, you know, of a talk amongst you instead of just like talking at you. You know, talking about, you know, the importance of choir. So, Brandon, this is you there.
I think so. Hey, drink this. You okay? Drink water. You want it? Hold it for her.
Yeah.
I think you should drink that, Janet. Drink the water. I think it's allergies or something.
Oh, it's horrible.
I think she's fine. I think she's fine. It's okay.
All right.
Alright. I think we're good.
Well, thank you again for the invite to come back and talk and share a few different things. But I hope you heard something a little different today, which I wanted to kind of bring to you. Yeah.
There's a lot of historical and political
Oh yeah.
stuff also.
Oh yeah.
Part
of what I was gonna is the had more time. Kind of memories and healing and how you combine that arrangement of "Lean on Me" song, but also incorporates "We Have Overcome" or social justice. It's been really important to in the choral music realm for decades. And it's just again, it's another important part of our history that's centered in choral music as well. So yeah. Yes.
Have you ever seen the movie Quartet? It was directed by Dustin Hoffman.
Quartet.
Quartet.
I have not. No.
You have to see it.
Okay, I'll check it out.
It's I think it's about 15 years old.
Okay.
It's his directorial debut
Okay.
movie.
Yeah.
And the characters are great in it, but there's this lecture with college students about rap and comparing opera to rap.
Oh, okay.
It's a very, and you'll just like the story. It's a very good story.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll definitely check it
It's
out.
called Quartet.
Quartet. I'll check it out. Thank you.
Any other questions for Jason? Any comments or questions for him? Mary?
Yes.
Do we need to get this song?
What's that? I'm moving close to Brunswick in Maine. I'm going to be right outside Portland. So you're talking about Brunswick, right? The town Brunswick. Yes. Yeah. They have a big music scene in Brunswick with Bowdoin College right there and all that. But I'm not too far. I've been there a bunch of times, so I'm not too far. Are you familiar with the area? Is that why you brought it up?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Is this where you're from, this part of the country?
Oh yeah, I've been in Jersey, Pennsylvania, my whole life.
Your wife is doing?
Well, no, she got a job up there,
Okay.
so that's
This
what's.
is a new adventure, right?
Yeah, completely new adventure, 100%.
You're leaving a lot of good things, but
I
I'm sure
am.
you'll start a new chapter.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes.
For sure. He'll be missed, but it's a new event for him, so I'm excited to see what you're going to do, Jason.
To the health center.
Janet, why don't you go to the health center? You go. Yep, go ahead. Yeah? Any other questions? Comments?
Dad used to play with the dead.
Yes.
He had records and tapes and all that, records and play on his record player. And he would play them on his phone too. He used to stick on his phone or some of the time old songs.
I was struck by Pete Seeger and Woody Guthrie.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know, when you were just talking about bringing everybody together.
Yeah.
You know, Pete Seeger's one of my heroes, and it's what he did every time he got on stage.
Right. Yeah, I've seen some videos. I don't know if he's doing that well, but I definitely have seen some things that are really musically incredible that he's done.
You know, and also a lot of the bluegrass, and not so much the bluegrass, but what is called newgrass, which is bluegrass with strange instruments, like bluegrass, instead of a bass, they'll have a cello.
Oh, interesting. Huh. I've never heard of newgrass. Have you heard of newgrass before?
It's a style.
Yeah.
He's more into the pop, because you tell me your background.
My
Your
background?
professional music background.
My
I think I remember
background
you
was, is musically it's orchestral mostly.
Okay.
Well, I play all the woodwinds.
Okay.
And the reason why I played all the woodwinds is I belonged to a high school that had all the woodwind.
Sure.
And we had a choir director who was also the music director for all of Stanford Public Schools, who pushed everybody to expand.
Sure. That's great. That's great.
So, like, I started off as a flute player, but Ray Randall, who was the music director, and he was also the principal organist for Cathedral of St. John the Divine in New York City,
Sure.
which was just what 20 minutes outside of out of Stanford.
Okay.
Well, not 20.
It's not far from, yeah. Not
Yeah,
far from
it's a half an hour,
Yeah.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
But
That's a good gig. That's still a very popular destination for
you know, and he pushed us to the point where he pulled in a lot of young married musicians who had kids,
Okay.
who were New York professionals.
Sure.
And he convinced them to move to Stanford. So Stanford had this huge influx of talented kids.
Right.
And I wasn't good enough to stay at the top.
Sure.
But I was good enough to pick up new instruments. So the oboe player would graduate. Moore, you want to learn how to play oboe? Sure.
Sure, yeah. Easy, right?
And they had the oboe, which is an expensive instrument.
Sure is, yeah.
And they had somebody that knew how to play the oboe,
Right.
who was a teacher at Stanford Public School. And he would teach me, or anybody else who wanted to learn how to play oboe, or bassoon, or English horn,
Right.
you know. So I went from, you know, oboe to, flute to oboe to bass clarinet to all the saxes, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then, it was just, it opened my life to music,
Yeah.
you know?
That's great.
And
That's what we hope happens when we're high school teachers, right? That not necessarily that my students are going to become full-time musicians or go to college for music, but that they're going to have a lifelong love for and appreciation for.
yeah, and I was a professional musician.
Yeah.
As a professional studio musician
nice.
for up through the 80s and
Okay.
into the 90s.
Okay. That's great.
Before I learned that the drugs and everything else just killed it for me, really.
Yeah, that's a shame. But I'm sure you have a lot of positive memories too.
Oh yeah, you know,
You can
and
tell.
I think I was at a discussion where they said, name the most incredible day in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the day that I was in the Stanford High School Orchestra and we played Rhapsody in Blue.
Okay, nice.
And we killed it.
Yeah.
And Ray Randall, who was the principal organist, played the keyboard. He played the piano for that. And he actually went from the cut, because there's a big cut in the middle of that,
Yeah.
that most of the professionals take.
Mm-hmm.
And he decided, since we were playing so well, that we were going to do the whole thing. And he just went like this.
Right.
On top of from the piano, and we all knew
Mm-hmm.
that we weren't going to do the cut.
Right.
and we played the whole 37 minutes of it.
And those are formative, things that stick with you forever.
Yeah.
And that's incredible.
That's
That's
great.
why we do what we do. Right?
That was experiment piece, the Rhapsody in Blue.
Oh, sure.
So I think what Jason's talking about is experiment. There's a lot of music that can experiment from classics, right?
Right.
I did a piece a month ago at this university, and I had no rehearsal. It was this very dissonant piece about the coal miners. It's an oratorio, and they had used West Virginian, like Southern instruments, American instruments, with a symphony orchestra. And I had to say the narration and then sing lines that were kind of tough music, because it goes and you're like the end of 5, so you're just thinking like, okay, here we go. So, but that's like kind of how that music. And Rhapsody in Blue was an experimental piece because there was never before its time, especially in America, there was never a classical piece of music mixed with a jazz piece together.
With 20 banjos when it was
Right.
first played.
So that piece was an experiment that George Gershwin tried to do. And another one is the Ernest Bloch Sacred Service. That was the first time that combined a Jewish synagogue with a classical piece of music into one. That has never been. Now there's a bunch of them, but like now things like even there was one. I can't remember the composer's name. Combined African American spirituals. It was a big thing in the 20th century and continues to be in the 21st century. That kind of stuff. So, depending on what the style. And then you mentioned one thing for
Ivo Donovan.
well, the thing with
Who
Bach.
was a bluegrass singer who put out an album of political songs that pushed the Tennessee Tennessee Congress to ratify the woman's vote, the women's suffrage vote.
Oh, interesting.
I mentioned the jazz, like the jazz with Bach, like an invention by Bach, and they would jazz it up. So like the first part of the invention, that's kind of more your wheelhouse than mine.
Modern jazz quartet,
It takes a Bach piece and then make it more in a jazz modern style. Yeah. Yeah, I know you. That's great stuff.
And I want to get who did the Bridge Over Troubled Waters piece that you played.
Yeah, you know what? I will send the link to Brenton,
He'll send it to me.
and then he'll get you the info.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
But thanks, Peter. That's great. Any other questions, comments? Did you like him?
Oh, thank you.
give
Thanks
him
for
a
having
hand.
me. I appreciate it. Thank
And thank you. We'll have him again, but he'll be on the TV screen the next time. And we'll probably wait a year or two when he's
I'll have
done.
some, I'll have some
Thank you,
lobster
guys.
in my mouth.
Well,
Yes.
what you got to do is you got to schedule.
Thank you, guys.
You got to schedule a trip up to Maine. I'd be very happy to take a trip up to Maine.
you. Phil.